and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I don't know what this light's doing today, but on this viewfinder I look like I'm caught up in a beautiful golden light. There isn't any golden light, but that's what I look like. Today I'm doing the end of the year book tag. I've seen this flying around booktube because it's the end of the year and a few booktubers have been doing it, and I thought lovely, and I've really enjoyed watching the videos of which that I have seen, and I'm going to enjoy doing these questions now because I've just written down and got some books out and I thought, oh yeah, it made me realise really what a bloody good year of reading I've had. So yeah, I will link the original tag down below. So the first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So the first one is, and really, every time I pick this up I cannot believe how heavy it is. Really, I wanted this finished by Christmas. If it's going to be finished by Christmas, I'll be surprised, but I would like it, I'll definitely have it finished by the end of the year. And that's Big Sister, Little Sister, Red Sister by Young Chang. Now, David bought me this book for Christmas last year, and David and I have a little setup whereby every year I asked him to go into a bookshop and just pick a book off the shelves for me. Not one that he's heard me talk about, not one that he knows that I want, just a book that he thinks that I'll enjoy. Now, this will be the third year of doing it, or the fourth year of doing it. I can't remember. The fourth year of doing it. And last year he bought me this book, Big Sister, Little Sister, Red Sister, which is about the three most famous sisters in China, and I'm just over halfway through, and I've been very much enjoying it. Like I said, it's really, really heavy and it's got really loads of words in it, but I wanted this read by Christmas just so that David would, so that I had read the book that he bought me last year. So yeah, I wanted this read by Christmas, and I don't know if it's going to be done by Christmas, but it will definitely be done by the end of the year. So that's the first one. Then another one is an audiobook that I'm listening to at the moment, and that's because it's going to be discussed at my book club with my friends next weekend over Facebook, and that's The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So I'm about 2 hours into this, and I think it's about 11 hours long, so I've got about 9 hours left. That's the maths. I did the maths. Yeah, it's fine. I've previously mentioned this in my TBR, and also I think maybe I've mentioned it during my Cozy Reading Night vlog, is that normally I've only ever read one Matt Haig book before, and that was The Humans, and it had a lot of hype around it. I actually read it for my book club with my friends when this first started to go, like a long time ago, and like it just didn't do much for me, and I know like a lot of people really like that book, so I've always sort of thought, oh, maybe Matt Haig's not the author for me. So when I went to this Midnight Library, this was sort of the face I was pulling when I went to it. Let's see, that was the face. And it's okay, I'm 2 hours in and it's fine. It's about a young woman who takes her life, and then she arrives, after she's taken her life, or attempts to take her life, she arrives at this place called the Midnight Library, where she's able to see many different possibilities of the way her life could have gone, just if she'd have stayed with a boyfriend or gone to Australia, etc, etc. So I'm early on and quite a lot has happened, but yeah, I've got the reason that's got to be read by the end of the year is that it's got to be read by the end of next weekend, really, because it's for book club. So yeah, those are two books that definitely need to be done. So the next question is, do you have any autumn books to transition into the end of the year? Better than that, I've got an actual autumn book that transitions into a winter book for the end of the year. So I've been reading every day, a poem for every autumn day. This is a collection of poems which is edited and pulled together by Ali Asiri. And also, there's a winter one as well. So David and I have been taking it in turns to read a poem to one another every day in autumn since the 1st of September. So this has definitely transitioned me, not just into autumn. So we started in September when the seasons were still, when it was still quite warm, etc, etc. A lot of the poems to begin with at the beginning of September were to do with going back to school and getting new stationery. Then we transitioned through to October, where there was a lot of spooky poems because of Halloween. Now there's the poems that we're getting. There's been a lot of war poems this month because of the Remembrance Day happens in the UK on the 11th of November, yeah, we're slowly getting there, transitioning into the winter book. So yeah, it's done a really good job of sort of like transitioning us from one season to the next. So yeah, perfect book for the perfect answer, who knows. Number 3 is there a new release that you are waiting on? And the short answer to this is nope. There's really not, and very rarely do I sort of I remember one year I bought the Veganuary book, which didn't come out until the 27th of December, and being like, oh, what a weird day to publish a book. But yeah, there's no books. I mean, I'm filming this towards the end of November, And there's no books as yet that I'm waiting on coming out. And I even had a little look on Waterstone's website to see if there was anything that I'd missed that I was waiting to come out for the rest of the year, and I hadn't. However, I did see that next year in May is, I don't know if you've seen these children's books, which are called like Little People, Big Dreams, and it focuses on like different people throughout history. And actually, for a number of, David, are you listening? Have you got your headphones in?
No.
So you know that book that we bought for Charlie? So we bought a David Bowie one before. We've bought my friend Hazel for her son. We bought him the Dolly Parton one. They've got like lots of people throughout history. There's a RuPaul one coming out in May.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. So I was really, really impressed with that. But that's nothing to do with this answer now. So yeah, excited. Number 4 are, what are 3 books that you want to read by the end of the year? So the first one, I've got a whole host of Christmas books to read in December. In December, I only read Christmas books. So that's why really any reading that I need to have done has to be done by the end of November. There is always that time after Christmas, in between Christmas and New Year, that I can do some non-Christmas reading. I normally end up finishing up my books, my Christmas books and things like that then. But yeah, so I need to get any reading done. But one of the Christmas books that I want to read by the end of the year is The Miracle on Ebenezer Street by Catherine Doyle. This is a children's, I think it's a middle grade book. It looks really fun. And this is our pick for my Patreon book club. So every year at Christmas, well, every month I run a monthly book club. Through my Patreon feed. We do a live show at the end of each month. I really, really love it. I look forward to it every month, particularly this year as well, because lockdown's been really tough for lots of people, and it's been really nice to have like something in my diary every month that I look forward to and I'm excited about. So, but the Christmas book club this year, David and I at the Christmas book club, David joins in for Christmas book club, and we pick a book each, and then there's a poll, and you guys, the Patreons, vote for it. And this was David's book this year, which won. My book won last year, but David's book won this year, and that is The Miracle on Ebenezer Street by Catherine Doyle. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to getting sort of like cozy and having a lovely time. It's about a young lad called George. It will be his 3rd Christmas without his mum, and he stumbles upon a curiosity shop called Marley's Curiosity Shop, and he finds a mysterious snow globe, which is has a lot to do with the front of this cover. So yeah, I think that'll be really, really fun. And I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm looking forward to David reading it. I'm looking forward to discussing it for Patreon Book Club. So yes, very exciting. There's still time to sign up for Christmas Patreon Book Club if you would like to. You just need to be signed up by the 27th of this month. If you just want to sign up just for the month, that's absolutely fine. You just need to make sure that you have cancelled your subscription after the live show, which will be towards the end of December. But yeah, that's what we're reading. So that's number 1. Number 2 is The Fair Fight by Anna Friedman. I feel like I'm holding this book up to the camera constantly at the moment. It appeared on my November TBR. It appeared in a video I made about books that I think are going to have 5-star ratings. Last year around my birthday is coming up, it's next week, I read a book by Anna Friedman called 5 Days of Fog over my birthday period. It just so happened that that's the way I picked it up, and I really, really enjoyed it. And as soon as I finished 5 Days of Fog, I ordered The Fair Fight online. And it arrived, and I kept sort of like knowing I was going to really love it, but putting it off because I'd had such a lovely time with the last book. And I thought maybe I'll treat myself and read this as sort of like my over my birthday treat. So I am going to read that over my birthday. So that's another book I would like to have read by the end of the year. And then I alluded to, didn't I, earlier, those sort of magical days in between Christmas and New Year, which actually, to be honest, probably feel like the rest of this year. Like normally, although David and I aren't like super social people, we're normally super busy people. And those days in between Christmas and New Year are normally quite magical for us, and we spend time by ourselves and with friends, and we play board games, and we stay up late playing backgammon, and just chilling out. And I do a lot of reading in those days, but because of lockdown and things this year in 2020, it's been a bit like that anyway. But so, as I said, I normally finish my Christmas reading just before Christmas, but wrap up any sort of things, so finish off any Christmas books over the Christmas days. And then last year, in between Christmas and New Year, I started the Free Decline series by Nikki French. That's a very popular on BookTube crime series, following a psychoanalyst, Free Decline. There's 8 books in the series, and I read the whole series in the first half of this year, and started the first one in between Christmas and New Year. So it was really nice. I think it was the day after Boxing Day. Might even have been actually on Boxing Day, and started that and had a lovely time doing that. Now, I've already read that series, and I think maybe I'll listen to it on audio at some point. But I was thinking about like special books that I'd like to read in between Christmas and New Year, and there's a high chance that I'll be getting some books between Christmas and New Year, for Christmas to read between Christmas and New Year. But one book that I kept thinking about was another Nikki French book called Secret Smile. So Jen actually gave me this, and I forgot that she'd given it to me, and found this lovely little postcard in there where she says that she thinks that this book is also being made into a TV series starring David Tennant. So I had such a lovely time reading the Nikki French books in between Christmas and New Year last year. I feel like potentially I'm going to start this on those sort of days as well. So yeah, something to look forward to. You're all right, David, just stood there all proud.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Nothing, bub.
Nothing. Number 5 is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? And I mean, I'd be bloody delighted if there was. I don't know. I'm not looking at my stacks of books thinking, oh, one of those books is going to be my favourite of the year. But I have had such a good reading year. There's not much to be said about this year. Well, there is, because Dave and I got engaged, and it's just, yeah, it's been a tough year, but there's been high highs in there. And one of the high highs has been that my reading has been bloody fantastic. I've read some of, like, not just my favourite books this year, but like some of my books which I think are probably going to be my favourite books ever. So yeah, if there was another book that I was going to read between now and the end of the year, I'd be delighted, because it would mean that it would be really like as good as the ones that I'd read so far, and I've read some absolute corkers this year. So yeah, I'd be really pleased. And then the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2021? So I'm a planner, and yes, I have. One of the things I've started making plans for is that what I often like to do is any books that have been like my absolute favourite this year, or books that I've really enjoyed, I like to revisit them the following year, sort of in the opposite. So like if I read it hard copy, I like to revisit the book as an audiobook the following year, and vice versa. So if I listen to it on audiobook, I like to read the book the next year. So I'd already started planning books that I've loved this year that I want to read next year. And one that keeps coming to the forefront of my mind, because I've just loved it so much, is Love in Colour, which I absolutely adored. So I can't wait to listen to the audiobook of that early doors next year. And also another book which has been a favourite of mine this year is Anne of Green Gables, which I read for the first time and just thought it was wonderful. And I've bought the second in the series of Anne of Green Gables. So I think 2021 is hopefully going to be my year of working my way through the Anne of Green Gables series. I know not all of them are as sort of special and wonderful as the first one, but yeah, I'd like to work my way through that series. It's nice to have a little series to work your way through, isn't it? So yeah, so that was my end of the year book tag. Let me know if you have done this tag, link it down below if you have, and yeah, let me know your answers to some of these questions. How's your readings shaping out for the end of 2020? And I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!